Black World and the Black Business School. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to come in here, and while we wait, I'll play a little bit of music for you. Let me get this started here. Hold up real quick. There we go. Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I just finished doing a 9-mile run, so I'm tired as hell. And but I'm glad I did it because I'm happy to be doing something a little bit different from what I was doing 3-4 years ago. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen my fat pictures before, but I was a fat boy about 3-4 years ago, and it wasn't until I really just had to literally bust out of a shell to change my habits. And I'll tell you what, it really feels good to know that you changed your life. I'm really proud of that. I'm very happy about that. And I share that with you guys to encourage you. A lot of you want to change your lives, and a lot of you want to do something a little bit different. So I just want you to know you can do it. It's all about the baby steps. So I want you to take baby steps. So if I look a little bit tired, that's why. I had to do 5 miles yesterday, 9 miles today, and then 5 miles again tomorrow. So this marathon training is ridiculous. It's like nonstop running. It's like, what the hell? Oh. But anyway, shout out your city. Shout out the city that you're coming from. Sherry's in Sacramento. What are you doing up? Because we sometimes we run at night, and we just got home. So I thought I would go ahead and knock out. We have a segment called Voice Your Opinion, or Dr. Boyce Exposed, where literally I just answer your questions. A lot of people called in and left some voicemail messages, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through those things. I see Raphael, Johnny Call Blaze, Bruce, Sherry, My Life as a Single Mom, Rass and Hunter. Dr. Watkins, would you ever consider doing a century bike ride? I don't even know what that is, but I like riding bikes. Hey, Kenya, Eugene, Dwayne, Nate from Motown, Lamar from Buffalo. It looks like your Bills suck again this year. In case y'all wondering, yeah, I am watching the NFL. Since Kaepernick and Jay-Z can't agree on how to protest, I'm gonna watch my football. I'm sorry, I like football. I like college football. I like NFL football, and so I kind of just think, they kind of messed it all up when they started making it all about the money for both of them, not just Jay-Z. Because remember, Caps made $40 million from the NFL and got a big old check when they kicked him out or kicked him off the team or whatever. So you can choose you can take sides with whoever you want. I'm not for or against either one of those guys. I think both of those guys are remarkable men in their own right, but also both of those guys are capitalists in their own right. I think it's ironic for Kaepernick to say, to have these posts where he's vilifying capitalism when he's made more money than most people make in 5 lifetimes. I mean, I just don't, that just doesn't compute for me, unless he gave it all away, to the people or something. Like, I just doesn't add up. I don't know. Anyway, like, you can't vilify rich people if you are rich. I mean, you can critique rich people. Like, you can say rich people should do better, but I think when you sort of just, anyway, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Please do that. Do you watch Stars podcast? No, I don't. I think I saw one episode or something, because somebody forwarded me something, and I think he has something to say about me, and people talk about me sometimes, but I ain't got time. I feel like the Black community is kind of stupid and immature sometimes. Not the whole community. I think that you have just, guys out here, 50 years old acting like little kids. And I don't want to be a little kid. I want to be a grown ass man. I want to be a grown man. I don't want to be a child. Like, I was a child I was a child 35, 36 years ago. Like, I'm not a child now. And but you see a lot of grown men acting like children. You see grown women screaming and hollering and bitch this, fuck you that, motherfucker that, and I mean I cuss too, but it's still very just like, at least I hope that I cuss for the purpose. I hope that there's some intelligence underneath all the profanity, because if you don't have something, if there's not light at the end of the tunnel, then you're just a potty mouth, aren't you? Anyway, please hit the thumbs up button. And by the way, I just figured out that if you want to get notified whenever I go live on YouTube, hit the bell, hit the little notification bell, and it'll let you know when I go live. If you don't hit the bell, it will not notify you. So hit that little bell right now. Also, please hit that thumbs up button. The shirt. Here's the shirt. Somebody gave this to me. People give me shirts all the time. If I have money on me and you offer me your shirt, I'll usually buy it from you, because I don't believe in taking a bunch of free stuff from black businesses. But if I ain't got no money and I need a t-shirt, I'll take it and I'll wear it. But sometimes I don't remember where I got it from. But this is a great design, right? And if you happen to have made this shirt, just like call us or something and tell us, and I'll shout you out. I just don't know where I got it. I just know it's nice and I wear it. All right. So anyway, let's see. Dr. Boyce, can you speak to the people about the importance of jury duty? Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think jury duty is important, because you're talking about supposedly having a jury of your peers, but if your peers refuse to show up, then you don't get too many, you won't have too many of your peers on there. One of the people that I admire the most is a guy named Judge Olu Stevens. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a judge in Louisville, Kentucky, my hometown. And actually, I got to call him up, because I'm actually going to Louisville to speak the day after tomorrow. DrBoyceLouisville.com if you happen to be in the area. And Judge Stevens actually was the only judge I know of who actually dismissed a jury because the jury was all white. And I thought that was just really remarkable and profound. And of course, the hillbillies came at him. Kentucky's a racist state, so they went hard at him. But we went down there, we marched on his behalf, and held rallies and did campaigns to support him. And he and I have been friends ever since. Him and his wife. His wife's a doctor, and he has a son that goes to Morehouse and a daughter that goes to Spelman. A lot of respect for their family, and I look forward to seeing them. I consider them to be my friends. All right, so anyway. I'm about to work. This guy's still up. I know, right? It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Why don't you and Roland Martin get along? Somebody asked that. I don't have a big issue with Roland. Like I would talk to Roland. Like if Roland called me, I'd talk to him. But I think that you have like a lot of sensitive, bitchy men out here that just like they get mad at you in 2011 and they still don't want to talk to you in 2019. Roland been mad at me for a minute. Me and him had a big old text message argument going back and forth back in 2011, 2012. It was so funny because I remember like it was yesterday, because I was in London and we're texting back and forth, and I couldn't keep up with him. I was like, damn man, you argue like a woman. I can't argue with when Alicia. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I hope I don't sound sexist when I say this, but I don't know. And men, do you ever find like you just don't have the emotional energy to argue? Like when your girl gets mad at you and there's a point where you're like, you win, like because women have the ability to remember like dates and names and places and shit that you said that you forgot that you said. I can't do that. I can't keep up with that. And Roland can do that. Not to insinuate anything, but it was like arguing with like a woman. Like I was like, damn, dude, like how did you type 4,000 words in like 3 minutes? And I'm just like, and my response would be like, okay. Like, I don't agree. And it'd be like, oh, all right, well, good luck to you. So he got really mad at me, and he's been mad at me. This dude has been mad at me since 2012. And I've been like, come on, man, like, let it go, bro. We ain't got to be mad at each other. I can still back you on certain things. We could probably help each other. Like, we'd probably be better as teammates. But shoot, man, Roland, whoo boy, he get mad at you, he'll stay mad at you. But just for the record, I am not mad at Roland at all. I'll talk about him if he say something stupid. I'll be like, man, that was some bullshit. But I don't take it personal, And I think it comes from, I'm from academia. In academia, you challenge each other's ideas. In academia, you tell somebody when they're wrong. You say, I don't agree with that, or that sounds crazy. That doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't mean that you can't be friends afterward, but for some people, they internalize that And I think that some of it also honestly could be a little bit of ego. You know, we start thinking we the shit, like I'm famous because I'm on the internet, right? Like, I mean, you know, you got a YouTube channel. I mean, come on. I mean, don't get me wrong, it means something. You know, I mean, you know, I have a few 100,000 subscribers and stuff. That's kind of cool, but it's not. But you can't get too carried away with it, because I mean, if YouTube shuts you down, then it's gone, right? You know, so you can't get too attached to those things. But anyway, let me keep going. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to play some of your voicemail messages that you have left me, and I am going to respond to each of them and give you my honest reaction. So hit the thumbs up button while I do that. And thank you, Betty, for saying that I'm awesome. You're awesome too, and I love you very much, Betty. I don't even know you, Betty, but it's love at first sight, girl. I love you, Betty. Love you, girl. All right, here we go. Let me turn this on. Let me see. Okay. Oh, I got to turn it up.
Couple of questions. Dr. Boyce Watkins, what's happening, man? This is Shadow King. Respectfully, a couple of questions. And I recognize the genius in the Dave Chappelle. Here's what I need to ask you, or whatever. Here's my problem with it, or whatever. He started off with making fun of somebody's death, Anthony Bourdain, or what have you. So, black people, so-called black people, we're the caretakers of the earth. Are we really here to like make fun of somebody's death and say, well, this dude killed himself and we go through all these hard times and we don't kill ourselves? Is that really proving a legitimate righteous point? Number two, when he got to talking about the molestation, and you know what I'm saying, okay, Macaulay Culkin is what? He got somebody that is cool to like justify raping because this nigga say that it's cute in a comedy show, or you know. So there is fine lines, and I understand. I see where y'all coming from in terms of the genius and this and that, but Dave played, in my opinion, he played a whole lot of people, played everybody.
Okay, and just so you know, when you leave your message, if you can make it under a minute, that helps me get through all the messages, because I love you guys. I love it when you call in, but we have so many, like there was like 60 messages in there, so I want to get through as many as possible. So if you make it like under 60 seconds, that would actually help. Dave Chappelle did a great job in his comedy skit. Largely not because I agree with everything he said, but because I like freedom of speech. I happen to believe, you know, in the bullshit in the Constitution, even though we know it didn't apply to us as black people. But I like to believe that as Americans, you know, whatever we declare ourselves to be, that you know, because we did build this country, I do believe that we should have the right to say whatever the hell we want. And so I like the fact that Dave Chappelle just basically got real gangster with his right to free speech. Now, in terms of him joking about Anthony Bourdain, it was a joke. You know, I took it as a joke, but you know, it was a, you know, with comedians, you don't become a Dave Chappelle without taking some comedic risks. I was watching Boondocks yesterday. I mean, just watching old episodes of Boondocks, and me and Alicia were cracking up. And I just love Aaron McGruder, because Aaron McGruder took a lot of risks. And that's probably why Aaron McGruder ain't been on TV since, you know, since Jesus was a baby, right? You know, and so, you know, in fact, if you know Aaron McGruder, tell him to reach out to me, because I would love to have him on this podcast. He's one of the few people on this earth I would love to have a conversation with, because I respect his mind. You know, him and the other Jordan Peele. Those are two people in Hollywood that I would actually like to talk to. I don't want to talk to a lot of celebrities because they don't say anything that really interests me, but those two are interesting guys, and I love to see how they think and how they process things. But anyway, you know, I just think that, you know, he was taking a comedic risk. You know, I take it as a joke. I don't think he really meant to say Anthony Bourdain deserved to die. I think he was just, you know, basically kind of making a point that's really true. You know, I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, black people, if anybody has an excuse to, you know, kill ourselves, it would be us. You know, it's always, tell me yes or no. Has anybody ever felt confused when you hear about some like really wealthy white kid who feels like he's got all the problems in the world, and you really look at him and you're like, you ain't really had no problems? Now, even though he has had problems, but you know, but the problems seem big because all his problems in life have actually been quite small. Has anybody ever seen that where you've seen like some really rich kid, like he's a billionaire's son or something, and he just gets into shit and is using crystal meth and cocaine and opioids because he feels like his life has no purpose, and he's like unhappy because his dad didn't get him the white pony that he wanted or whatever, or he crashed the Porsche after he wrecked the Lamborghini, and you're just kind of like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like really? Like, do you know how much I would love to trade places with you? But then, the problem is though that when you are given privilege, you never know, you can't appreciate the privilege because you got to go through the darkness to appreciate the light. You got to go through the pain to understand the joy. You got to lose something in order to understand what you have and to count your blessings. So I personally think that that we as Black people, the blessing of being Black is that you do go through some things, and so that when you overcome that and you get a chance to live a better life, it makes you that much happier about your life. So I'm very happy about my life because I know what it's like to not have nothing. I know what it's like to be poor. I am thankful for that. I know what it's like to get the lights cut off and not have enough food. I know what it's like to not have a place to live. I know what it's like to not have no money in your pocket. I know what it's like to walk, 8, 9, 10 miles because you ain't got a car and you can't get a ride. I know these things, right? So when I get in my car, I feel good about that. I'm like, well, at least I ain't walking, right? So I would just say at the end of the day, I think it's great that that you have the blessing of being Black. There's no greater blessing in the world, in my opinion. Let me see here. We never die. We multiply. That is so true. Dave Chappelle's brilliant, says Regina. I agree. Prod Son says, I'm trying to partner with a restaurant that needs my operational. Okay, that's I think that's a statement for everybody who's watching. All right, so let's go to the next comment here. Let's see. By the way, if you want to call in, you can actually call in. The number is 773-302-0414, 773-302-0414, 773-302-0414. Also, don't forget the All Black National Convention is coming up the weekend of September 27th. So if you want to come out to Houston, we got a lot of people who's going to be there. I can't even name everybody who's going to be there. Dr. Ron Daniels and D1 and Vicky Dillard and Noma Langham, Michelle Moses, Nicole Price, Jade Arundel, just a long list of people. Sharif Abdul Malik from We Buy Black. A lot of great people are going to be there. Dr. Latanja Watkins, my sister, will actually be there. So it's going to be really good. She's actually a medical doctor, a real doctor. She's not one of those fake doctors that you see who got their degree on the internet. My sister actually went to medical school. All right. So anyway, here we go. Here's a good one. Okay. About police drug testing.
Hello, Dr. Boyce Watkins. My name is Rupert Clinton Jr. from Sacramento, California, and I wanted to mention that I talked with the NBA player Matt Barnes when he spoke about Stephen Clark and his family here. And the thing I asked is, why isn't anybody on the major platform advocating for police to be immediately drug tested for everything from steroids on down to any narcotic product, after they discharge their firearm? The only cities that have this law implemented happen to have no police shootings. Why is it that that civil rights attorneys come down to help these people, but they never advocate for these officers to be drug tested?
I think it's a good point. I thought they already did. I didn't know that most cities don't have the officers drug tested. That's kind of crazy. I'd like to know more details about that. If they're not doing that, then that would be a no-brainer. If they're blocking that, then that's probably the police union, the politicians. They do a lot of things to protect the officers, like the way they, in some places they made it illegal to film the police doing their job, and so they tend to do these things. And it's really what the system that we're up against. That's the greatest remnant of slavery, is the way the police treat Black people. Let's see here. Let's see, Boyce, can you please keep your responses to under a minute as well? That's so funny, Martell. Let's see here. Would love to send you an email. Which resource could I use to send my message? You can email manager@boycewatkins.com. Just kind of make it quick because my manager gets a lot of messages and she doesn't have a lot of patience. So I don't know if she's going to read. If you have a long message, I don't know if she's going to read the entire thing. But if you have something you want to share with us, feel free to do that. Let's see. How do I get in contact with the woman you had on the podcast who teaches how to get college grants and go to college for free? Oh, I don't remember that one. That might have been a long time ago. I don't even, nobody comes to mind for that. All right, so here we go. Next.
Hello. I am interested in my later years. I'm 65, and I would like to have someone go over my state of affairs as far as my assets. I don't have much, but I have a little. That I want to see how I can get the most of it and pass it on to my daughter. Just someone's input. Thank you. So I need some.
Okay. I think that's a great point. We do have some stuff in the Black Business School, by the way, which you guys can actually join, get started for free. Feel free to talk to one of our representatives. They're waiting for you right there at the Black Business School. It's theblackbusinessschool.com, THE. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. More specifically, when it comes to transferring assets, you just have to have some sort of plan for your transition. Where a lot of people get in trouble is they just don't have any plan at all, and they just die, and then all this stuff is in limbo, and they end up giving away all their money, and they should have went to their children, should have went to their family. And like Prince will probably end up giving about $150 million away to lawyers and accountants and everybody else, people that are not even related to him. Literally the same white supremacy he spent his whole life fighting, he's going to be a huge benefactor of those systems. In the three major components for a death plan or a transition plan, let's say, because you're passing the baton, you're not really dying, this is your way to live forever, involve insurance, making sure you have life insurance, adequate life insurance, which allows you to avoid probate. You don't want your stuff to get caught up in probate, because that's when the courts take all your money and, for everything, for the lawyers and all that. Also, make sure in your will you clearly specify where the money's supposed to go. So everybody should have a will. And then if you really want to go deeper, you can actually set up a trust. And a trust also allows your assets to transfer seamlessly. And so you got to kind of think about little things like, if I have money in my bank account and my partner, my spouse, needs me to pay the bills, if I die, can my spouse, or not even my spouse, let's say you just, you have somebody you're in a relationship with, or your child or something, can they just get into my bank account and get the money, right? What do they need? So maybe you can even ask your bank, like, what do we have to provide in case something happens to one of us, to get access to this money that we need in order to survive. So you don't want little things like that to kind of hem you up in case something happens, God forbid.
Hey, Dr. Boyce Watkins, this is Desiree DeSena again. My previous message I left, I was asking about if my husband files for bankruptcy, if he could get rid of the student debt. And the thing I didn't really speak on is that him and I have really good credit scores, about 800, and we've never been late on any other payments that we had to make payments on, and we make a decent amount of money, but it doesn't go too far because we're in the Bay Area in California. So my question is, could we do that? And would the system recognize that we're actually, we're not struggling, but just wondering if that's how we could get rid of the student debt. Was it $61,000? But after everything is said and done, it's probably about $90,000, which is horrible. Anyway, so yeah, speak on it if you want or not. Either way, it's cool. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a positive role model in the Black community, and you're super awesome. And I love the dinosaur suit. I love that you're going to be married soon. So keep up the good work, Doctor.
Oh, wow. Well, that was very nice. And the dinosaur suit she's referring to, I decided to show up to the 9-year-old's birthday party dressed as a dinosaur because I'm corny like that. Only real men are comfortable being corny, so I must be a real man because I'm probably the corniest person I know. And so here's an answer to the question. Student loan debt cannot be discharged in a bankruptcy, so don't try to do that. They hem you up for life. Student loan debt is actually one of the great financial crises of our generation. It's a triple crisis for the Black community because you're transferring a large percentage of your family wealth over to white people, because white people are the ones who are running these universities that you feel like you have to go through in order to consider yourself educated. So there's trillions of dollars actually we transfer over to white people every generation. The fact they have good credit scores is a good thing. I think that's great. That gives you a lot of options. Living in the Bay Area, if you can move, I would get the hell out because that's just one of those places where it just costs too much to live. But then again, maybe your job doesn't let you do that, in which case you may have to, consider, I guess you can make it work where you are, or you can switch careers or start a business or whatever. Even if you make less money, I've seen people go from the Bay Area to Atlanta and literally like live like kings and queens, like, or leave New York, leave Brooklyn, which is, or Manhattan or wherever, where the real estate markets are insane, and go to Atlanta. Atlanta's just a great example, or Houston or something, and literally buy like the most amazing house for a fraction of the price. And so ultimately, I don't think you're gonna, I mean, 90,000 in student loan debt, that is a lot. You can't discharge that through bankruptcy, but it's not going to hem you up, and the interest rates on student loans are not that high. So, personally, depending on what your goal is, I've actually told people I think that they should just not worry about the student loans, just make the minimum payments and keep that debt on the books and use your cash for something else. Depends on what you want to do. So if you had, say, a business that you really felt confident with, and you feel like this thing can really make you some money, like a good ROI, 30, 40, 50% a year, then why would you pass that up just to go pay back some student loan debt? Student loan debt is it's just kind of messy debt. You're starting your life with a mortgage, and so I'm really not a fan of student loan debt, honestly. I think that whether you go to college or not, I just tell everybody, make sure that you send your kids to college with an understanding of the things that actually matter for Black people. Most Black people go to school so they can make more money. How do they make more money? Well, you get this piece of paper that allows you to go into a mostly white dominated economic system and go work for somebody else, and give them all your money buying their consumer products, increasing the property values in their neighborhoods because you want to live in the suburbs, and giving all of your human capital to building their businesses because you want to work for them. And I think that's okay. But really, that's not where you want to go. You actually want to have the skills to do what we teach our kids, which is to keep their poise. Poise is POISE, which stands for producer, owner, investor, saver, entrepreneur. So if you go into college and you got entrepreneurial skills, you're going to use that degree in a way that's very different from somebody who only knows how to work for somebody else. People who only know how to look for a job are literally only seeing about 5% of the potential economic options that exist for them out here in this world. And also, they're only going to make a fraction of what they're truly worth. So if you want to have a chance to really make what you're truly worth, then at least make sure your children are given the opportunity to at least know they're working for themselves as an option. And then if they want to go drop, 200 grand for a college degree in 4 years of their life, that's cool too. Nothing wrong with that. College is fun. College is nice, but there's nothing wonderful and magical about college either. It's a lot of people go to college and drink beer and party for 4 years, and then they think that they're smarter because they went through this 4-year process. But I've seen entrepreneurs grind it out and really do real work that has real implications and make real money, and do this at the age of 18. So it doesn't mean that you can't. It doesn't mean I'm saying you shouldn't go to college. What I'm saying is that it ain't the only way to succeed. Please hit the thumbs up button, by the way.
Hello, Dr. Boyce. This is Mr. Courtney Staggs. I'm calling you from Inman, this is Spartanburg County, South Carolina. And I just want to say I appreciate everything you do, brother. And you have much love and support from me and my family and friends as well. And a special congratulations on you proposing to your wife as well. Thank you so much, brother, for everything you do. Much love.
All right. Well, thank you, Courtney. I appreciate that. I don't know if you're watching, man, but thank you so much for those kind words. I am extremely appreciative, extremely grateful, and thank you guys for putting up with me. I know I can be a headache sometimes, but I ain't gonna change. So, so if it bothers you, you might just want to leave right now. Let's see. Good morning, Dr. Watkins. Just finished doing research and writing. Was about to go to sleep, and there you are. Are you really live? Yes, I am, Corinne. Good to see you, and keep working hard. You're going to be very successful one day.
Good morning, Dr. Boyce. This is Ronald Avery from Akron, Ohio, and I'm just commenting on some of the subjects we talked about. But I work for a Black agent, and everybody probably know, but I don't want to put his name out there. But he stated to me one time I did some work for him, and he didn't pay me all the money. And we debated, and he said, man, the white man told me never pay a nigga all his money. They'd take whatever. And he runs with Jay-Z and them, and that's the philosophy that they have, that has money that comes from the inner city. This guy's from the inner city ghetto, just like we are. And this is the philosophy that he uses, that he's learned from dealing with the white man in the area that they're in. So kind of.
Well, I think that what he's, I mean, I don't know how much of that you can generalize, but, if you want to know if you're economically disrespected, the answer is absolutely motherfucking yes. There's nobody more disrespected economically than Black people in America. That's just real. They don't look at you as competition. They don't look at you as a threat. They don't see you as a group that is capable of doing anything other than, chasing down the nearest Popeye's chicken restaurant, dribbling basketballs, throwing footballs. I mean, You remember that? Anybody remember in that movie, in that Spike Lee movie, Do the Right Thing, when that Italian dude was like spear chucking, high jumping, I forgot what what I'm talking about, and he's like, go to fuck back to Africa. That's what he ends with that, and it's just kind of like that's what they think about you. They don't respect you. They think you're stupid because some of us are stupid. They think that we don't want anything because some of us don't want anything. They think that we are easy money because some of us are easy money, so there's a kernel of truth in terms of the way. Thank you. The 360-degree basketball dunking. Yeah, I can't remember the whole thing, but I think, let me see if I can find out. I think it'd be fun to kind of read it. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see if I can read it. Let's see here. Do the Right Thing. Wicked quote. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hit the thumbs up button while I find it. Here we go. You gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey, ape, baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball dunking, titsum spade moulinya. Take your fucking pizza and go the fuck back to Africa, right? So it's kind of like interesting when people really tell us for real what they really think about us, and and we get offended by it. But I mean, first of all, I don't get offended because I don't care what anybody thinks about me. But at the same time, a lot of times the reason you get mad when somebody says something about you is because you wonder if it's true. If it wasn't true, if it's not true at all, like if somebody, I don't know, if somebody accuses me of plotting to win the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, like I'm going to laugh because I'm not a football player. It's not even a relevant comment. Or they accuse me of stealing a cookie at my neighbor's house, I'm going to laugh it off because I don't steal. I don't, go to my neighbor's houses and do anything like that. But if they accuse me of something that I actually did or say something about me that I think might be true, then I get really offended. Or if I'm worried about what they think about me. And so for you as Black people, your biggest problem is that you have no economic respect. People really look at you like you are a bunch of dumbasses who don't want to improve your lives. There's free information out here. There's knowledge available at every turn. There's all different kinds of opportunities. And the fact that, many of us would rather not pick up a book speaks quite a bit to, to who we are. And we have to confront that. And some people think it's racist for us to confront them. But just remember, anybody who tells you that you're perfect just the way you are ain't your motherfucking friend. Anybody who's always telling you that, oh, you're perfect and you don't need to change a thing. And anybody who gets offended just because somebody tells you that you can do better, like that's not your friend. The liberals are not your friend. The Republicans, they're not your friends either. Right. But the liberals, my God, like this, they will justify any stupid thing any of us do and really push a handicap, like a disability protocol, almost like you are a disabled group of people, and I think that what this guy said, basically speaks to the fact that, the reason they think they can get away with stealing from you, lying to you, paying you half of what you're worth is because many of you are desperate. You position your children to be desperate. When I go out and I say to Black people, hey, let's do some things with our kids to prepare them to compete in the future, and half the people don't even want to listen, 80% of the people don't even want to listen, well, then why are you going to get mad when they make fun of you? When they look at your child and have no respect for you because your child is out here begging white people for a job, they're going to be like, well, damn, your community ain't taking care of you because we take care of our own. Y'all don't know how to take care of your own because somebody lied to you and told you Massive was going to come through for you. So ultimately, I think that we have to confront that, and if we don't confront it, we're gonna continuously be disgusted with ourselves. It ain't racist to tell the truth. Hit the thumbs up button. Here's the last one.
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Boyce? My name's Denny, originally from Winston-Salem. I wanted to just say, first of all, I love your work. I love you try to keep it brief without going too far in depth. But just to kind of make it nice, short, and sweet, first I want to reference Shahrazad Ali. Check her videos out. She's a Black woman that has been speaking on the issues that we deal with Black women for a long time now. She's laced all kinds of different points, and if she can see the things that they're deficient in and how they affect us as a community and how they affect us as the Black kings and the most powerful men on earth, who doesn't have his helpmate fully behind him, but has actually taken a seat with the government and with the people that are, conspiring to make sure that we stay down. A vast majority of them left from civil rights and still today have taught their daughters and in even more concentrated numbers to be self-sufficient on themselves and to claim the household and to be all about what they're trying to do, which is also part of leads into what our problem is, which you speak about financially, is not holding on to our dollar. Well, most of our dollars go to our Black women. They the one have the jobs, they the one have the income, the education, so they get the income, and they the one has been offered a seat with the white males and white females, has been offered a seat economically to be able to have that fund. And on top of that, when they have our children, they strip us financially to make sure that they put that money in her hands. They don't put any sanctions on her to make sure she does the right thing, so that economically she can go out and get those Dooney and Burks, those white established name brands. And if you know anything about fashion, if you listen to anything about fashion, they usually push it through the female. And if she likes it, then the men get on to it. It's kind of similar.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause that. He said a lot, so I want to address what he said. First of all, thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. What I will say first and foremost is I heard him mention in the beginning, a remark about, about the Black woman, deserving more love than the Black man. If it sounded like I ever said that, then that was a typo. That I literally would not say something like that. I would not ever say that. I think that Black men and Black women both deserve love, and I believe the Black woman. I believe that the Black woman, given that she's the original woman, she's the giver of life to our communities. We all exist because of a Black woman. I think that we have to make sure that she, as a collective, maintains her rightful place at the top of the pile. In terms of who matters the most for our people. I think that's critically important, that we understand that, as Black people, and I think that it's a damn shame that you got Black people out here that do not want to, Black men that want to literally show an extreme and excessive amount of hatred, for the Black woman. I think that's kind of crazy. I don't think I can think of any other community that hates Black. Miss Melanie, I'm gonna make you a moderator so you can get that person out of there. So please, I tried to, let's see here. I hit the button to delete the person, but I think I hid the person from the channel. Yeah, I hid him from the channel. But if he comes back, Miss Melanie, take him out. And Jason, I'm gonna deputize you as a moderator. So go ahead and take him out if you see him, if he comes back. If you don't mind, thank you so much. All right, so here's the thing, right? Black, there he is right there. So go ahead and take him out if you can. Black women are not the same. Like, I think it's very, very important that we not get caught up when we're talking about each other. There's a lot of pain that goes back and forth between Black men and Black women. And, we cannot get to the point where we are generalizing on a regular basis. You can't. I mean, if you're going to generalize, at least be nuanced in your generalizations, meaning, you could say some, but not all, or, break it into categories. But to get into this thing, this whole Black woman bashing thing, I don't think that that's ever healthy. And it's not healthy for them or for you, right? Because we know that's just not true. We know that Black women are all over the place. And, Black men are all over the place. There's different types of men, different types of women. And I personally don't think that the Black man should have an issue with a Black woman who is self-sufficient. You got to remember, For a lot of women, they just have no choice. You know, there's nobody there, so they got to do it. You know, and I think that there is a difference between a self-sufficient woman who is able to make room for a strong man versus a self-sufficient woman who is trying to be a strong man, right? Who's trying to replace a strong man, who has no space for the strong man. You know, I don't even know how that works, right? And it is fine. I mean, I guess that I guess you can have a relationship where maybe she has a maintenance man that shows up and gives her sex, and she continues on with her individual single life, and that's fine. That's up to her if that's what she wants to do. But I'm going to say that I think that at the end of the day, there's a lot that's been put on all of us in terms of how we had to adjust to this thing called slavery. And so I think that it's wise for Black men to try to understand that, but to also understand that, an explanation is not necessarily an excuse. Meaning that we could talk about our oppression. We could talk about what the Black woman has gone through and why she may feel a certain way about men. But that does not give her an excuse to be bitter, nasty, evil, ugly, and cold and mean all the time. Maybe that means she needs therapy, right? Because ain't no man gonna want to hang around some bitter, nasty, evil, cold woman, no matter why she's behaving that way. It's just not attractive, right? The same way, but the same thing is true for the Black man, right? Like, we know why brothers struggle economically. We know about the fact that the Black man has been pushed out of the economic system. We know about mass incarceration. We know about Jim Crowism and slavery and everything else. But that doesn't mean that a Black woman should necessarily want to be with a broke ass man who ain't even trying, right? Who's not even trying to improve his life, who don't want to pick up a damn book, who want to sit in his drawers and smoke weed and play Xbox all day, like he's a little kid. Ain't no woman gonna want that, And so what oppression really does is it puts an impetus on us, which also can be seen as an opportunity for us to simply choose to rise above the occasion or to rise to the situation, right? It's tougher out here for Black men, which means Black men have to be tougher people. And that's why I'm a big believer in raising Black boys to be strong Black men so they can prepare and fight this shit. Because your only other choice is to go through life feeling sorry for yourself, in which case you're no good for anybody, right? And the same thing is true for the Black woman. She's going to go through hell. She's going to be mistreated, disrespected. She's going to be disappointed by a lot of people, which means that she's going to have a bigger burden to overcome some of that so she can still be, a loving enough individual that she can keep a family together, that a man is going to be able to cooperate with her and actually do something positive, with her. And so I'm not a big fan of kind of, just saying like, oh, all these women are doing this and all these women are doing that. But I see what everybody else sees. I mean, I've seen some impossible people. I've also seen women who are so strong that they don't know how to deal with a man who's got his stuff together. When I was a little more single than I am now, a lot more single than I am now. Now I'm not single at all. I'm engaged. But when I was single, I can remember kind of feeling like I didn't fit the script. You deal with somebody who's so used to being disappointed by Black men. And when you're not disappointing them, when you're like actually saying you're going to do something and you do it, or you don't need to borrow any money, or you're doing good financially, you can pay your own bills, you're fine. There are some people who don't know how to deal with that because they're so used to cleaning up after a man. They're so used to compensating for, a broken man. And I've always taken pride in not being a broken man, but I was lucky. I had a strong father who told me from day zero the best thing I ever heard, which is, don't you sit around making excuses. If they push you back 3 feet, that means you got 3 extra feet to go. So you best get going, motherfucker. Don't you sit there talking about, well, they pushed me back 3 feet, so I can't move an inch. I'm gonna sit still. Like that never flew at my house. That's why I don't subscribe to the whole liberal conservative ideology on any level, because they teach you to feel sorry for yourself. What the hell, man? Like, you're a Black man. You ain't even got no friends. Like, what good is feeling sorry for yourself going to do when you are in the middle of warfare? And no Black woman wants to sit next to a weak ass man who's feeling sorry for himself. She's going to look at you like a child. At best, you're going to get her sympathy, but you're not going to get her respect and admiration. You will get her sympathy. She will take care of you like you are a disabled child, a disabled or a child in an orphanage, and whatever, maybe, just whatever, but she's not going to see you as a man. Right. So I think at the end of the day, I believe that there's still room for strong Black men. And I believe that there are good women who can appreciate those men. But I think at the same time, everybody has the right to, the obligation almost, it would be smart of you to discern, what you're dealing with. Like, if I was single or whatever, or when I was, I knew what kinds of women were a fit for me and which ones were not. If you came in with that heavy white woman feminist bullshit, you wasn't for me. I don't believe that stuff. I don't think white feminism is healthy for families. They want to abort their babies at every available opportunity. Well, no, if my seed is in your body, I want you to talk to me about whether or not you're going to kill my child. This whole idea is my body, you have no right. That does not translate for me, but it works because, I'm not going to put my seed in a woman that isn't going to consult me before she aborts my child. Alicia would talk to me before she thought about getting an abortion. She wouldn't just go get it and be like, I killed your baby, so what you gonna do about it, motherfucker? Like, that's not, I vetted that out from the beginning. You follow what I'm saying? So you got to figure out like what you can live with. If you see low quality women, don't date them. If he talks about the women that like the Gucci and all that, every woman ain't like that. I have money, I can afford Gucci, but I'm not going to buy Gucci for myself. And so I sure as hell don't want to be spending all that money on my woman. And guess what? I have a woman that doesn't like that shit. That was not by accident. She's not a materialistic person. If she was a gold digger, maybe that proposal wouldn't have happened. Right. But I mean, I got gold, but I don't want you digging for it, right? So think about what you're looking for. And really at the end of the day, the most important thing I would say that I've learned about relationship situations is don't be an asshole and don't pick an asshole. A lot of times we just pick assholes. We pick assholes because, she's so pretty. So you put up whatever bullshit she puts on your table. Or women, y'all think he's handsome and smooth, or you're so proud of dating a powerful, wealthy man, and you let him just, treat you any old kind of way. And I've just learned that that's a bad move. Like, you got to fundamentally look and make sure that person is a good person, and don't just judge it based on how they treat you. Anybody can be nice to you when they're trying to get a piece of ass. Anybody's going to be nice to you when they're trying to get something from you. Look at how they treat people that where they get nothing from them. Look at how they treat their enemies. Watch all of that. That will tell you more. That'll give you a more 360 view of what kind of person they are. Because if they're nice to you and mean to everybody else, they're not a good person. They're just pretending for you because they want something from you. And that's something I learned because as a prominent kind of man, like where I'm out there, and I get the love and respect, and I appreciate that. I've run into that. I've run into situations where somebody was so nice to me, and I would be thinking, oh, she's such a nice lady. And then somebody would tell me something terrible that she did to another person, and I'd be like, she did that? She wouldn't do that. That's not what kind of person she wouldn't do that. And they were like, yeah, Boyce, she's only nice to you because she likes you. And that's when I was like, wow, okay, I get it now. I get it. When someone talks to me, they're going to treat me different from the way they might treat everybody else. So I watch how you treat everybody else. And what people don't understand is that if I see you talking to my assistant and you disrespect my assistant because you're trying to get to me, well, you might as well have disrespected me because I'm not even going to talk to you at that point. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I got to go to bed. Have a good night. Don't forget, All Black National Convention, September 27th. Come down to Houston. I'll be in Louisville in a couple of days. You can go to drboycelouisville.com or allblacknationalconvention.com. And then, of course, we got New York in October. A day-long investing seminar is going to be really good. That's drboycenewyork.com, drboycenewyork.com. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Also, don't forget, if you want to educate your kids, we have financial workbooks and flashcards for children, as well as books by Dr. Claude Anderson and other people. You can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. I went to Sacramento a couple years ago, Sherry. I don't plan on going back anytime soon, but I do like Sacramento a lot, and I met some really nice people there, and you have some really great activists in that city. Plus, you got one of my favorite rappers of all time, Sibo. See, I know that, right? Anyway, I'm out here, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Peace.